This is why you should never take justice into your own hands. This is the Kaylor family, which is comprised of Majorjon Kaylor, his wife Kaylee Kaylor, and their 3 children, which is comprised of 2 boys and a girls, and because they're underage, their names cannot be released. They live in Kellogg's, Idaho, in this apartment complex where they stayed in the upstairs apartment. So on June 10th or 11th of 2023, police received a phone call from the Kaylor resident because they saw something very disturbing to him. Katie would tell police that she was outside playing with her daughters when she noticed something at the corner of her eye, and when she went to go look, she had noticed that her neighbor's son, who is 18-year-old Devin Smith, which is the one right here in the cap and gown, was standing in his window doing inappropriate things. When police got there, they went ahead and did their investigation, as well as took a report down, but there was no arrest made that day either. But they did send a recommendation to the prosecutor to charge Devin Smith with indecent exposure, which is a misdemeanor. So the Kaylor family sat back and waited to see if anything was going to happen, but after about a week, they realized the police weren't doing anything and that Devin hasn't been arrested yet. Mr. Kaylor would go ahead and make a statement in an interview saying that him and his family felt very uncomfortable because at times when he would pass their neighbor's house, they would be sitting there acting suspicious as well as watching his children. So on June 18th of 2023, Mr. Kaylor decided he was going to go ahead and take matters to his own hands. He would get off from working in the mines, and then he would go home, change his clothes, and then also put on his gun holster. And then he would proceed to go outside and start watering his plants. Shortly after watering his plants, that's when he noticed 41-year-old Kenna Guadape and her father, 65-year-old Kenneth Guadape, were walking towards their apartment, and that's when Kaylor decides to confront them. Mr. Kaylor will confront them because he felt that Kenna was not taking Devin's actions seriously and that Devin was going to get away with everything that he did. So in the heat of the argument, Mr. Kaylor would take out his weapon and fire 2 shots. In an interview with Kaylee, she would say that she heard the shots, and when she looked outside, she saw Kenna hit the ground and as well as Kenneth fall down to the ground. Mr. Kaylor would then go into the residence where he fired a single shot at 16-year-old Aiken Smith, who passed away from a single shot to the head, and then fired multiple shots at Devin Smith. Once he was done, he went ahead and left out the apartment, went to his wife and told her that he had to do what he had to do and to tell his girls that he did to protect them. And then he just waited outside until police arrived. Kaylor was arrested on 4 counts of homicide and 1 count of burglary. The first 2 counts were for the adults, which was done in either premeditation and or the execution of vengeance. And the other 2 counts were for the boys, where it was done in premeditation of executing a vengeance and or the perpetration of a burglary. The reason why he's being charged with burglary is because under Idaho state laws, it states that it is considered burglary if you enter a room, apartment, or house with the intent to commit a felony, which would include murder. Now, at his initial hearing, he was denied bond, and so he was to remain in custody of police. In a twist to this case, his lawyers have filed a motion to suppress evidence because they come to find out that he was not read his Miranda rights until after he admitted to what he had did. His lawyers are stating that since he was not properly read his Miranda rights, that the information that they had gathered was non-voluntary. Now, this quadruple murder takes place 7 months after the original Idaho 4 had taken place over on November 13th of 2022. Kaylor's trial is set to begin on January 9th, 2024, and if convicted, he could be looking at life in prison without parole, all because the prosecutor took the death penalty off the table.